Hello, this is OverlordBou back with another first look video, and today we're going to be looking into the Utrecht that is intertesting in 13.11 and it will be going into the early access in 14.0. That will be in January, so you guys can get your hands on it in early access in 14.0. But today we're going to be looking over the stats and doing theoretical talks about the ship and its stats, which are subject to change because it is currently in testing. So let's take a quick look about the design of this ship from their description. So the Utrecht is a theoretical D7 class cruiser design with dual purpose main battery guns. The guns were developed in Germany. 128 millimeter guns were developed in early 1940s. So this is a theoretical design where this ship has D7 hull with Z52 destroyer guns. So let's look at the hull real quick. So this hull is, very lightly armored. It is a light cruiser. So 16 millimeter hull all over with a citadel section of 90 millimeters for the armor protection. Citadel in the middle is slightly higher. So definitely be careful showing your broadside on this ship, or you're going to be in a world of hurt from heavy cruisers and battleships alike. For the HP is 42,200, which is about average to high for light cruisers at tier 10, and torpedo protection, which is 19%, is about the average for light cruisers as well for tier 10. For the artillery shells, you have 120 millimeter guns that have a 17 kilometer range, a 4.2 second reload when built into them, with a 12.2 second turret diverse and a 1450 HE shell damage with a 7% fire chance and 32 millimeters of pen. That 32 millimeters of pen will be really nice against light cruisers and some heavy cruisers, as well as being able to shoot battleship bows or decks and hit their superchargers as well. Depending upon some battleships, you'll be able to do a lot of damage with that HE. The AP is 3108 8 damage for if you do citadels, and the shell velocity is 960. So, what about the shell ballistics, their SAT for this ship?
It uses destroyer caliber guns. The range is nice at 17 kilometers, but honestly, you're not really gonna get much. You're probably not gonna hit ships at max range. Like, we're talking like Z52 levels of ballistics, which is not really the greatest to start with.
Yeah, exactly. So that is the guns for the Iterate. Now, the other thing that makes this ship really strong is going to be the Airstrike. So this is the light cruiser line of the Dutch line. So you have the Golden Lou, which is the heavy cruiser. This is going to be the light cruiser. A lot of people have been theorizing this is going to be more of the farmer ship of the two. The Golden Lou is being more competitive. This is going to be more of a farming ship for randoms or some other modes, perhaps. So the airstrikes themselves have a 30.6 second reload, and you have 2 available flights. That is a really quick reload for the airstrikes, and they also have a 14 kilometer range. That is a very far range for those airstrikes, and the bombs do 5,800 damage and have a 34 millimeter pen with a 33% fire chance. That is a lot of pen for the light cruiser airstrike, and that's also high damage as well for them with how fast the airstrikes are. What do you think of the airstrikes?
So another major difference is that the reticule size is much smaller than the Golden Lou. So
Yes.
even though you're throwing half as many bombs at the enemy, you're going to be the smaller reticle means you'll probably hit just as much, maybe even more, depending on how the bombs drop.
Mm-hmm.
And that 45-second reload is nothing to sneeze at compared to the Golden Lou.
Oh, it's
It's better
30.6.
base reload, sorry.
Oh, mm-hmm.
So when comparing base reloads, the Edict reloads faster than even like a ledge mod Golden Lou. Like, that's how good it is.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to be spamming bombs at closer ranges.
Yeah, it's going to be a really hell for anyone to push this ship with that many airstrikes. So the reticle side is going to be very similar to the Trump. So if anyone has seen the Trump reticle side, it's going to be very similar to that in size. So they're going to be difficult to hit. But when they do hit, and with how quickly they are, you're able to get a lot of permafires, a lot of damage overall in lightly armored ships like cruisers, battleships, or even destroyers if you are able to hit them. It'll do a lot of packing power with those airstrikes. So that's the airstrike stats wise. Depth charges, unfortunately, you do get surface depth charges. You do not get aerial depth charges because you have airstrikes already for the bombs. The depth charges are pretty pathetic. You get only 2 charges with 6 bombs per charge with a 40-second reload, and this ship does not have hydro. The ship only has damage control party, an 8% engine boost, and a heal. So unfortunately, no hydro to help deal with a submarine. So if a submarine's perma-spotting you, you're kind of screwed. For the anti-air, this ship has very, very strong anti-air. For the range, you have 6 kilometers. For the flak is the only disappointing part for the anti-air. It has 6 flak charges. But if you look here, if the CV enters 4 kilometers of your anti-air, it does 753 damage. Now, of going off of the D7, I'm not surprised that this has such a high number, but that is a lot of anti-air damage for a light cruiser. It's massive. And now for long-range anti-air from 4 to 6 kilometers, it's only 84, so that's pathetic. But if it's within 4 kilometers, so like dive bombers or attack fighters, or depending upon the ship, some skip bombers or torpedo bombers, definitely, yes. But some skip bombers, iffy there. But overall, tier 8 CVs are going to suffer for sure when dealing with you. Tier 10s will, if they get within 4 kilometers, yeah, they're going to be suffering. And super ships, super CVs, they'll suffer too if they get within close. But anything with strong skip bombers that can stay outside your 4 kilometer range, then yeah, they're going to have a field day with you. But everything else, they're going to be having a rough day. Moving on from the anti-air, let's talk about the top speed. So the top speed of this ship is 36.8 knots. That is when you have the Sierra Mike flag. The turning radius is really strong with 700 meter turning radius. That is stronger than a lot of destroyers. Very tight turning circle. And with that tight of a turning circle, that means that it's going to be doing a lot of rudder turning or juking rather than the throttle juking the Dodge shells. And it does have a 9.5 second rudder shift time. Now, with that tight of a circle and the rudder shift, we also have to mention that on the guns, the top front gun is going to be 360, as well as the middle back gun is going to be 360 as well for this ship. So you're always going to have like at least 4 guns shooting at a target at a time, at least 4, depending upon the gun. You'll have at least 4 always shooting a target, since you have 2 360 turrets. So it's really nice design for the guns for the ship. But that is the maneuverability for the ship. Now for the concealment, it is a 9.8 kilometer concealment with a 5.6 kilometer smoke detection when firing. So if you have someone that smoked you up, or you're inside of a smoke screen that you pushed into an enemy, they have a 5.6 kilometer concealment. So anything outside of that, they won't spot you. But if someone is inside of that, then yeah, you're going to have a really rough day. But overall, what do you think of the ship overall, SAT, with what we were just commenting on?
So, Wargaming on their dev blog advertises the Dutch light cruisers as mid to long range ships, using the main battery and airstrikes to harass heavy ships. And while their good concealment and engine boost allow for quick attacks. And of course, they can go back into stealth, use their good concealment if they're under too much focus fire. That being said, it sounds like some players, some more damage-oriented players, may try to play them closer. Just try to avoid the long-range ballistics issue,
Mm-hmm.
and just utilize their airstrikes better. You will probably need you'll probably need something like smoke or an island to help you do that, though.
Mm-hmm.
But considering that they're light cruisers, I can see them racking up a lot of damage, if you don't explode, of course. And with the amount of Columbos and running around, that, I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
like being shot at by Columbo in any cruiser. And given how they describe the Dutch light cruisers, ugh.
Yeah, that's the thing with this low armor. Any ship with sap is gonna eat you alive.
So
That
yeah, high risk. It's high risk, high reward playstyle. So we'll see if players are capable of using that.
Yep, so that's going to be it for this first look. Again, all these stats are theoretical, so any of them can change at any time during the testing period. But this ship will be entering the 14.0 patch, which will be in January for early access. So I'll be doing a review of the ship when it comes out then, so definitely be on a watch out for that. But this is OverlordBou and SAT score. If you guys have any questions or concerns, let us know in the comments down below, and we'll talk to y'all later.